Hello, ARMY. Welcome to K Heart Channel. V's emotional message shattered Jungkook. Jungkook finally reveals everything about V. That night felt strangely quiet, as if the world itself had stopped spinning in front of two names that had always been said together, V and Jungkook. But this time, it wasn't laughter or playful banter that filled the air. It was a message that pierced straight through the heart of millions of fans around the world. V, known for his calm smile and unmatched charisma, suddenly appeared in a late-night live broadcast. He wore a simple gray hoodie and small black sunglasses, a casual look, yet behind his eyes, ARMY could feel something different. There was a weight in his silence, as if he was trying to hide something behind a forced smile. Sometimes, he said softly, staring into the camera, "You have to let go of something, not because you want to, but because you have to." That single line broke the silence. Comments flooded the screen. Thousands of ARMYs typing, "Are you okay, Taehyung? And what happened?" But V only gave a small, bittersweet smile before looking down for a moment. And when he looked back up, his eyes were glistening. "The person you love the most isn't always the one you get to keep forever," he continued in a near whisper. "And when time pulls you apart, all you can do is hope they're happy, even if it's not with you." Instantly, the fandom went into chaos. That clip spread like wildfire across every platform, and the names V and Jungkook began trending worldwide. ARMY knew those words weren't random. They carried meaning, and they knew exactly who that meaning pointed to. A few hours later, Jungkook posted something on weverse, a black and white photo, only showing the silhouettes of two people sitting by a riverside. No caption, just one emoji. Fans caught the symbolism immediately. A white dove. Peace, freedom, or goodbye. "Is this for V?" someone asked. "Did they really part ways?" wrote another. And that night, thousands of fans filled timelines with messages of heartbreak under the tag #StayStrongTaekook. But what made everything even more painful was what happened next. A few hours later, Jungkook went live. He looked exhausted, but tried to smile. He picked up his guitar and softly played "Love Is Not Over," an old song they once sang together. Halfway through, his voice broke. "Some people come into your life to teach you love," he said quietly, "but they can also be the reason you finally learn to let go." The room fell silent. There was no more music, just his breathing and the distant sound of heartbreak. "V Hyung," Jungkook whispered, almost unconsciously, "I hope you know, I'll always cherish what we had." For ARMY, that night became one of the most emotional moments in fanbase history, not because they finally knew what happened, but because they could feel something raw and genuine behind every word. Whatever V and Jungkook shared, no matter what it was called, it was deep, real, and painfully human. Fans began to piece together every moment. V's quiet demeanor at their last appearance, Jungkook's distant expressions, old posts that suddenly felt like pieces of a puzzle that finally made sense. Is this their goodbye? Did they really drift apart? Was that message for Jungkook? Questions flooded social media, but there were no clear answers, only silence and a feeling of loss. Yet behind the scenes, there was more than fans knew. According to this fictional narrative, people close to them said V's message wasn't just about separation, but about the emotional weight he'd been carrying for a long time. V was struggling to balance his personal life and the immense pressure of fame, and Jungkook, who had been by his side since the beginning, was the only one who truly understood the invisible pain. But as with all relationships born in silence, time and destiny slowly pulled them apart, not because love faded, but because life forced them down different paths. Fans who watched that live described it as watching two souls who still loved each other but couldn't stay together anymore. One viral comment read, "They look like two stars that once shined side by side, but now belong to different skies." And just before ending his live, V looked at the camera and said softly, "Thank you to someone who always made me smile, even when I forgot how to." He ended the live without another word, but just before the screen faded to black, his smile disappeared, and his eyes, once full of light, looked empty and sad. ARMY knew that wasn't just another live. After a long, sleepless night filled with tears from fans around the world, the next morning felt unusually heavy. Timelines were flooded with clips of V and Jungkook, two souls who seemed to live in the same world but were now divided by an invisible distance. Eye and soul. The air was cold, but the atmosphere around the BIGHIT studio felt even colder. Some staff whispered quietly, mentioning Jungkook's name in worried tones. He had arrived earlier than usual, alone, without a smile, carrying only his guitar and a half-empty cup of coffee. A source inside, in this fictional narrative, said Jungkook spent hours in the practice room, softly strumming his guitar without singing a word. From the mirror's reflection, he stared at himself, as if searching for someone who used to stand beside him. "It's been a while since we practiced together," he murmured to himself, a fragile whisper filled with emotion. Then, he looked down at his phone. The screen showed the last message from V, one he had never shared with anyone. "Kookie, thank you for always being my home. But this time, I have to learn how to walk alone. Don't worry, I'll still be looking at the same sky." Jungkook smiled bitterly as he read it again and again. He closed his eyes, and suddenly, memories came flooding in like a storm. Their laughter in the practice room, late nights in the studio, the little jokes before concerts, and V's gentle voice saying, "Jungkookia, you know, I've always been proud of you." That afternoon, Jungkook finally left the building, and no plans, no direction. Just walking aimlessly through familiar streets, his steps led him to a place filled with memories, the Han River. He sat on a wooden bench, the air cold against his skin, staring at the quiet water. "Here," he whispered, "you said if we ever drift apart, this place would keep our secret." The wind blew softly, and somehow, Jungkook could almost hear V's voice carried in the breeze. "Don't be sad, Kookie. I never really left." Tears fell before he even realized. He gripped his guitar and began to play a soft melody, a tune only the two of them knew. It was the same melody they wrote together on a rainy night, when the world felt small and safe. A few fans happened to pass by. They recognized him instantly, but didn't dare approach. One later wrote on social media, "I saw Jungkook sitting alone by the Han River today. He was crying, but also smiling. That it was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen." The post went viral. Hashtag where is V and hashtag please be happy JK trended worldwide. ARMY tried to understand what was happening behind those two hearts that still seemed connected through pain. Days later, the world stopped again because Jungkook posted a long message on weverse, one that felt like a confession. "There's someone very important to me, someone who taught me what loyalty, laughter, and loss mean. Sometimes you don't realize how precious someone is until they're no longer sitting beside you. I know you'll read this, Young. Thank you for always protecting me, even when you were hurting. I'll never forget that night, or the promises we made, and I won't say goodbye, because I know you're still here, in every song I sing." He ended the message with a small line. For V, from someone who still believes in fate.